Good morning to Europe, good afternoon to Asia. A very warm welcome from us organizers DLG, the German Agriculture Society, and BNU Asia Pacific. So we are very happy that you made it today to join our special session with CLAAS, the AGRITECHNICA Asia launch partner. So today we are a very international group. We are from 28 countries all in all and about 160 registered participants. So a special welcome also to the Philippines, where most participants registered. So today, as you know, it's about silage production. And the CLAAS team said, getting a good silage is not more expensive than harvesting a bad one. So today we will learn more about this. I already know that our two speakers, Mr. Jens Striewe and Dr. Ekapop Pairam, they will address topics like why to produce silage, why its quality matters a lot, and also how the CLAAS technology, the CLAAS machines, can highly contribute to get most out of the harvested crops. So we will first start in Germany, in Hasewinkel, where's the CLAAS headquarters. There will be Mr. Jens Striewe. Mr. Jens Striewe is product specialist at CLAAS Regional Center Southeast Asia, and you will see his passion about technology when he goes around with the camera and show you the machine in more details, answers first question. So you will see he's already grown up in agriculture. Then we will virtually fly to Thailand, to Nakhon Ratchasima province, and there we will meet Dr. Ekapop Pairam. So he is now CEO of 505 Farm Tech. He's grown up in agribusiness. He did his PhD in physics in the US, and he's taking care now of beef cattle farm, and he's also glass importer. So he will share his experience with all of us. So you are very much invited to ask all your questions. You can type them in, and then there will be a Q&A session in the end of today's digital talk, and of course also afterwards. So text the speakers directly, they will share their contacts, and you can of course also go to AGRITECHNICA Asia and Horti Asia Digital Connect platform. You will receive an invitation by Christy Lee. And there you can connect with the other participants, with the speakers, see around. And of course, hopefully then next year in May, we will all see each other at AGRITECHNICA Asia here in Bangkok in person. But until then, there will be a lot of digital talks, and we will have some opportunities here online, of course. So a big thank you to CLAAS. I now hand over to the team to continue, and I wish you a very good session. Take care, all of you. So Mr. Jens, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Pour moi, la nouvelle Jaguar, c'est l'innovation et la technologie avant tout.
Horsepower. It is a beast. No doubt it's a beast.
我们比较了下来，我们感觉到CLAAS劣势也比较惨，而且在用户中的口碑非常好。
Come dice mio fratello, la campagna è dura ma la CLAAS fa paura.
My name is Frank Borba. I'm from Modesto, California, and I have a custom harvesting operation. Currently, we own 3 980 CLAAS Jaguars. It's just a machine you can buy out of the box, and it does everything we want it to do.
È il perno dell'azienda, dell'agromeccanica Rocchi, sono le Jaguar. Dall'ultimo acquisto che ho fatto sono veramente senza parole, soprattutto per il semplice fatto non solo per il consumo della macchina, ma soprattutto anche che ho molto più produzione a fine giornata.
Ежедневно на этом комбайне в течение силосного или заготовления кормов мы работаем по 12-13 часов в день. Только в работе мы сможем оценить его, как он работает, как он движется.
Действительно симпатично выглядит, качественно собранный, хорошо работает, показал себя отлично. Хорошая машина, достойная.
Currently we're on our 6th Jaguar chopper. One thing that has been great with the CLAAS choppers is we've never lost a day due to a breakdown.
我们公司成立于2014年9月份。对于我来讲，克拉斯的清除收割设备跟牧草设备啊，是保证我们奶牛高产的一个重要的设备吧。
有了好的那个饲料，就能挤出好的奶。这个好的饲料从哪里来？就从这个克拉斯当中来。克拉斯呢，就是我们这个企业的一个后勤保障吧。
La macchina è una novità e certo non puoi paragonare al modello prima. Il cliente chiede solo CLAAS. I nostri clienti, se non vai con la CLAAS, ti dicono cambia macchina.
J'ai repris l'entreprise de mon père il y a 2 ans. Lui était déjà équipé avec des CLAAS Jaguar. On continue avec cette marque car elle reste une machine fiable dans le temps, peu d'entretien et travail de qualité, quoi.
I think we've been using CLAAS for 18 years. If there's not a problem, you don't try and fix it.
对我来讲，这个克拉斯的清除机确实是我们的好帮手。
The CLAAS Jaguar for me is a key to my business.
La Jaguar per me è una macchina, quando sento il rumore di questa macchina mi fa venire i brividi.
Now it should work. Hello together, a very warm welcome as well from my side. Thank you very much, Katharina, for the warm introduction and welcome from your side. I'm sharing my screen now. I hope it's already visible. Yeah, we saw the introduction video of our Jaguar working worldwide. I think that is a good introduction. Here we are, as mentioned by Katharina, participants joining from 28 countries worldwide. And here we saw also the Jaguar working in worldwide conditions over the whole globe. Yeah, shortly to myself, my name is Jens Striewe. I'm the product specialist in Asia. I'm also usually based together with our team in Asia, in Bangkok. Currently I'm on a short trip to Germany, and I'm joining here today from our Lörmans farm, directly next to our headquarters in Hasewinkel. We will later on also use the machines, which you can already see in the background, for a live walk around. Yeah, I grew up with agriculture background. I started working with CLAAS in 2013. I did my first international experience 2015 in India, and I did also several trips here around in Germany during 2018 and 19, where I demonstrated our machines live out at our customers. 2019, at the end of 2019, I was in Australia for the introduction of our new combine harvester to the Australian market. And yeah, since the January of 2020, I'm working now as a product specialist for CLAAS in Asia. Yeah, let us shortly look to the content of our today's presentation. We have put a few topics together here, which we would like to explain, which we would like to discuss about with you. The first is why to produce a silage and why its quality matters. Then the question, why a CLAAS Forage Harvester, what is different on our machine, what is outstanding technology on our machines for the production of silage with a self-propelled machine. And topic number 4, we will hand over to Dr. Ekapop, our partner, customer, and machine user in Thailand. He will share his experience that he did in the past years with silage production on one side, but also with our CLAAS Forage Harvester. He imported already several units, and yeah, he will share his experience there. He also will mention the current situation of silage production and the problems and how the Jaguar is kind of a game changer there. In the last part, we will also shortly talk about green energy farming with CLAAS machines. Just briefly a few slides, and but right at the end, before our Q&A session, we will show also a nice video that we recorded in the past months in Thailand with the Jaguar operation. And I think there will be an application which is maybe kind of new for most of you to see a Jaguar in that application. Yeah, as a short introduction of this whole session, I would like to look to the development of the dairy production on one side worldwide here. You see the numbers in 30 years or within 30 years from 1986 to 2016, the production of dairy products increased worldwide by 53% due to the demand, worldwide demand. But if you're looking just to Asia, in the same time, the dairy production or the produced products in dairy production increased by 240%, more than 240%. So we see that even that in Asia, the increase is even higher than on the worldwide view. And to produce more dairy products to increase the performance, also, or mainly the fodder for the animals is a key to success for doing that. Also here, the imports of dairy products by region globally view, Asia is here on place number 1. And that means as a conclusion, the highest import of dairy and largest increase of production is in Asia. And I think therefore it's also very interesting later on to go into the experience part with Dr. Ekapop, where he will share his experience, how the production of dairy products changed in the past. Yeah, here as a short slide, why to produce silage. So if you're looking to the process, we harvesting a material. We store it in a bunker, and we need to exclude the oxygen out of the material by compressing, and later on also by covering that no oxygen is in contact with the material. We do that, or that is done because of the to reduce the biological degradation, and also to conserve the material, to conserve the nutrients inside the material. So the material is fresh harvested, stored in a bunker, and the air, the oxygen is compressed out of the material. That is also a really important point, and later on the material need to be covered. We also see the fermentation process. So we see in the first phase the reduce of the oxygen, then the lag phase. In the third phase, it already starts with the fermentation. The timeline here, time in days, is pretty short. So most of end users, having the silage stored much longer. But from day 14 onwards, the stable phase will come, and where the material, the silage, will be conserved in the bunker and to store it for a longer time. So that means that silage is feed, or that silage is used as a high quality feed year around. So that is also an important point. So as I mentioned, you need to conserve it to store it longer, and that you're doing for a year-around feed. That you also, when you are not possible to grow crops, when it's not possible to go in the field, when it's not possible to harvest, that you have a high-quality feed in the bunker stored at your farm. And as already mentioned by Katharina, a good silage is not more expensive than harvesting a bad silage. So here we see in most Southeast Asian countries now the change mainly from tractor-attached forage harvesters to self-propelled machines, and we will later on come a bit more to the technology, and there we will see Why even a bigger machine, where maybe the investment cost for sure is a bit higher compared to a tractor-attached forage harvester, but the payback will come later on, and also there, Dr. Ekapop will share his experience. Yeah, why silage quality itself matters. If we're looking, for example, to the effect of the milk yield, we talked before about dairy products. What can affect the milk yield? That is for sure on one side the cow breed. It can be the season of calving of the cow, the geographical region where the farm is located, where the crops are growing, and for sure also the frequency of milking is there a point. But one of the main points is really the fodder quality, because that is the main impact for the animals, how to improve the performance, or how to ensure that the quality of the fodder is good. So the one side, the fodder quality improves the animal health, and it's also reducing feed costs. That is, I think, one of the most important points, that you have healthy animals in the shed, and that there's no bad quality fodder feeded to the cows. And for sure also here on dairy and also on cattle farm, it increases performance. We talked about the increase of dairy products, so the outcome of milk, but also on cattle farms for beef production. A good fodder quality matters to ensure that everything works well and with a good outcome. So if you're looking to the silage process itself, you see in the back the forage harvester here. So it starts with the harvest of the whole crop, the whole plant. By using a self-propelled forage harvester, as we see here in the back, there you do the cutting and the cutting of the plant, and also the chopping of the material in one step, all while driving. And you also process the kernels, the material inside the machine, that the material later on can be also good sourced by the animals. We come to this point later as well in the walk around. Then also, when we look into the silage process, the transportation is an important thing. If we look into such a forage harvester in the size where we see that it's suitable for the Southeast Asian region, we're talking easily about a performance of around 100 tons per hour. So a lot of material is harvested by this machine when the conditions are well, but the transportation next to it is also very important. You can imagine when so much material is harvested by a forage harvester, you also need to transport it from the field to the farm. Then we also already talked about compaction. Here, when your material is later on not good compacted in the bunker, then you will not, if you don't have the right machine, the heavy enough machine to compact the material, then you will not have a chance to reduce the oxygen properly out of the material. And therefore also the right technology on the bunker while building up the bunker, while building up the silage bunker is important for the good quality of the material. And also here, for storage, the covering of the material is later on important. We saw it in the first video, Jaguar working worldwide. Silos looking everywhere in every country a bit different, but there's always a cover foil on top, and then some farmers putting tires on top or sand to hold the foil in place, but also to have weight on the bunker on the top, to ensure that no oxygen can come in, and that the fermentation process can start inside the bunker for the conserving of the material. What is here important on the silage process? For sure, the right harvest time, so the dry matter content of the harvested plant is important to ensure that the silage is later on in good quality. Also, the ideal cutting length is important. We had a trend in the past years, or in the past years, the trend is already going the other direction again. 15, 20 years ago, everybody was cutting the material very short as possible. That is, for example, also necessary when you like to feed such a silage for energy production. We will have this part later on again. But especially for animal feed, sometimes we have the technology to also chop longer, but in the same time also with good processing of the material to also increase animal health by longer cutted material. The third pillar here is material processing. There I will mention the difference in the walk around compared to especially to this tractor attached forage harvesters, and also what we can do to help the fermentation process. We can also add silage additives to the material. That's directly possible with the Jaguar. So the Jaguar can spray these additives on the material and then to ensure that it can be properly stored later on. So all of this ensures that a high quality silage can be produced and stored. And that also at the end comes then to the point that we have healthy and effective feeding of the animals. So healthy is for sure, as already mentioned before, a really important thing, but also effective in terms of reducing cost and increasing the performance of the animals. So when we coming now to the point where we say why a CLAAS Forage Harvester, I would like to swap now to short video, which we will present to you. We already produced more than 40,000 units of our Jaguar, which we sold worldwide. And I would like to give you now a short introduction via the video, which will be shared. And later, directly after the video, I will swap then to the live walk around where we see here the Jaguar inside via the live camera. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I always getting goosebumps by watching the video again and again. I never can get enough from such a video. I hope you can see the camera video. Maybe we have the chance to increase the size, or you can do that on your own to have this live video in full screen. So in the video, in the end, we saw such a big machine here, our flagship, the Jaguar 990 with the track system in the front. That is our newest development for our forage harvester. So you saw the history where we started with the forage harvester and yeah, where we are now with this machine. Just as in short side information for Southeast Asia, we only sell the wheel machines. So we will now swap here from the TerraTrack machine that was the last machine in the video to such a machine, which is basically technically wise the same, just with a tire in the front, a bit shorter. And yeah, we see here our Jaguar from the 900 series. So we have an 800 series available and 900 series. Technology-wise, as mentioned, they are the same. So the principle of our Jaguars is the same in both series. And it's just a question about what is the application of the machine later on, how much material need to be harvested, and what material need to be harvested to yeah, select the right machine size and the right machine specification. When we look into this machine, it looks, I think, pretty nice and shiny from outside, but it's very hard to see what is inside of this machine. But therefore, we will go over now to our model here, where we have basically the hearts or the insides of the Jaguar yeah, placed here, where we can have a detailed look what is inside. So everything that we see here is the same as it is in this machine, just without covers and yeah, with direct access to see everything. So it starts for sure with the correct front attachment. So here we can see a pickup. We will see that later on in the video as well for collection of swaths for raked material, for example, for grass collection, for grass harvest, but also yeah, for straw harvest as an example in some countries, and also later on we will see this in a new application. I just got the message that the video is not visible. Is it correct? Maybe the DLG team can shortly check if the video is streamed well. Okay, everything working. Okay, in Thailand. Okay, so seems to be overall okay, and maybe some problems with the connection there. Maybe you try to log in again. Yeah, so it starts with the selection of the right front attachment. This front attachment, yeah, is attachable, so we can exchange it. When we're looking once back here to the to this machine, we can see that there is a different front attachment here that is for harvesting, for example, corn or napier grass. So we can see then that's for this direct harvest. We can see here in the bottom that we have here the cutting discs on the bottom of the whole drum. Then the drum turns to move the material inside of the machine, feeds it into the pre-compression feeder housing, and that is where our model starts. So that is what we can see here. So these are the hooks where the front attachment will be hooked onto the machine, and the material, doesn't matter from the pickup or from the orbits that we just saw, from the front attachment is feeded in between these compression rollers. So these feeder rollers, they're turning, feeding the material in the machine, but they are also pre-compressing the material. So you can see these big springs here on the side. So they are pressed together to ensure that the material comes correctly inside the machine before it's coming to the cutting drum, because when the material is not compressed correctly, then or not coming in the right direction, then also that will have an effect to the silage quality, because, or let us say to the chopping quality. So material comes in here. The feeder house is openable for easy access on the machine, and for maintenance points, for cleaning points. So this is the back. It's usually closed here, that just open to better have a better view inside. And then the material comes from the feeding rollers here on the left. It's coming into the knife drum here. So here you can see a really big chopping drum. You can see here the knives bolted on, and you can see in the bottom the shear bar. So the material comes in on top of the shear bar here. The drum is rotating very fast, and the knife is then cutting the material directly here on the shear bar according to the length that you adjusted in the machine. We will later come to the point that we have different chopping drums available for different customer needs. So it depends on the application later on, if it's for animal feed or if it's for energy production. We can select different chopping drums inside the machine. We can select different amount of knives according to different required cutting lengths as well. And we can also change the material of the knife itself. For example, if there's the application for the machine to do grass harvest and corn harvest as well. So material comes in, we have the big chopping cylinder here. And then you can see here, when we look into the side, the material comes in and the crop flow is right in the beginning of the machine. So on top here, there's already the spout where the material comes out right after the cabin of the machine. So the whole crop flow happens here in the beginning of the machine. In the back, we see then cooling package and the power package, the big engine in the back, and the drive concept. So that is also something that I would like to mention on our machines. The engine is completely in the back, in the position across the driving direction. So that means here on the main pulley of the engine, we can see this really wide big belt. And this belt runs from the pulley of the engine all the way directly down to the chopping drum. So we have a direct connection of the chopping drum with the engine, and it's a really big belt. It's not just a string. And that means, and we talked about this, or we will later on talk about this efficiency point as well. And we mentioned, that it's how to produce a silage with a CLAAS Forage Harvester while getting maximum output of the machine, while running on best efficiency and lowest fuel consumption. And already this is a key part for that, to have a connection via such a belt from the engine directly to all the turning components, and not with big gearboxes or something where efficiency is lost then. So machines are available for sure also with four-wheel drive, which is in standard for Asian countries. So all machines that we sell in Southeast Asia have a four-wheel drive axle in standard to ensure that also in muddy conditions the machine can work properly. Jumping shortly back to the crop flow, we saw this pre-compression unit in the front. We saw here the chopping drum, and then the material comes out of the chopping drum via this tunnel via this bottom plate here to this position. And here in this position, there's now the grass chute mounted, the so-called grass chute. So here the material is just for grass. It's just coming from the chopping drum and going up to the accelerator, which is on top. But a key component for harvesting corn silage is the corn cracker. We slided the corn cracker out, and this is placed now here behind the crop flow. This corn cracker, you can see the rollers here inside. We will also see some other variants of this corn cracker. This, all the material that's harvested or chopped by the drum going through these two cracker rollers, and to process the material, to crack the kernels, to make the energy which is stored in the kernels and in the material available for the animals later when you feed it. So that is a big difference when we're looking to tractor-attached forage harvesters, where we on one side don't have a chopping drum, we have chopping discs in tractor-attached forage harvesters. So this difference starts with the chopping, but the main difference is that such corn cracker is only available in self-propelled forage harvesters. So in a tractor-attached machine, you won't have a corn cracker, and that means that the material is not good processed, and that the energy which is in the kernels, especially in corn, is not available for the animals later. So that is a really key point for producing a good silage quality. if I'm turning around now, you can see that we have here a few cracker models placed. So what you can, I would like to go into details here, but what you can see on the structure of the rollers, which is different on these 3 machines, here you can see with rings, the cracker with ring rollers, or here we talked about long chopping of the material. That is our shredledge cracker for processing material that is cut at very long. So you can see that we can select different crackers according to different needs at the end, and that we have a lot of experience in doing that. And we can, based on the information or based on the application that the customer want to do, we can ensure that we get the right components into the machine, which are also easily exchangeable. So every of this cracker can fit here in this machine that we see here, and we can select it according to the customer needs. Behind the cracker that we just saw here, which is placed here, there is then the accelerator coming. It's basically kind of a blower to, it's fast turning drum, so say, and it blows the material out of the grass, of the chute on the top, where the material flies then basically to the trailer, which is running next to the forage harvester, as we already saw in the videos that we saw before. Also, when we're talking about efficiency points, important thing to mention here is for sure the cooling system as well. We see big engines in the back with a few hundred horsepower, and then also efficient cooling package here, quite big area. You can see more than a square meter big, the surface area, and this ensures that we have the engine always running on efficiency level. Yeah, so we will shortly jump back from this walk around now into the presentation to sum this information that I just gave up. I know that it's for some of you that this information maybe have been already known, as you're already familiar with this product or with self-propelled forage harvester. But for some region, I think it's quite interesting or new information. And I think you don't always have the chance to look in such a forage harvester like here on the model. I think you would see it when we can all go to the AGRITECHNICA live again, then something like this will be also visible. But that I would like to give you a short introduction how the machine looks from inside. So I will swap now and go back to the presentation before we hand over to Dr. Ekapop then. So I will share my screen again. So yeah, we saw here the machine. I need to switch on the camera here again. Okay. Yeah. So here we have a look again on the Jaguar overall. So we talked about that we have the intake in the front where we can select different front attachments like the pickup, for grass harvest or for collecting a swath. So the material on the pickup is then already mowed before and laying already cutted on the field, and then we collecting it with the Jaguar and chopping it. Here the front attachment that we see here, the Orbis, there we have the direct cut and direct cut and feeding into the machine. Then we had a look to the chopping and the processing of the material. So cutting, processing in the cracker to get good silage out. And then as a back part here, we talked about discharging via the accelerator, via the blower, and also the discharging chute. So here the crop flow is once again visible. You also have the video there on top. So looking to the crop flow exactly We had this pre-compression rollers in the front, which are already a key component to ensure that the material comes correctly in front of the drum. Then we have the chopping drum itself. You can see here drums available for the Jaguar 800 series. So you can see different amount of knives that we can select according to the application. You can see here the corn cracker. We talked about the different corn cracker models that are available from multi-crop crackers via long card crackers to here shred-ledge crackers. They are all available and also selectable according to the customer needs. And then we have the accelerator in the back. Yeah, then shortly we also talked about Jaguar drive concept. That's my last part before I now will hand over then to Dr. Ekapop. We talked about the driveline on our Jaguars. So the engine placed in the back of the machine for a good balance also of the machine. Then we saw this long, big, wide belt running all the components like the feeder housing, like the chopping drum, like the cracker and accelerator. So it's all synchronized and running on the correct speed and with highest efficiency via this big belt. Also, the cooling package we talked about is important, stable engine temperature and cooling of the oil and components, which is all this whole drive concept and overall concept is for us called CLAAS Power System. So that is the connection of all components working on an efficiency level together. Yeah, so I hope that you saw the live video. So I got some messages that the video was not visible. I hope that for most of you the live walk around video was visible, that this first introduction about why to produce a silage was an interesting part for you. I will now hand over to Dr. Ekapop and he will share his experience in silage production and also in using the Jaguar from Asia.
Hello all. Thank you, Jens, for the nice introduction, and thank you everybody for joining, and also thank you AGRITECHNICA Asia and CLAAS for inviting me to have this honor of speaking. Okay, I have seen a very nice presentation by Jens and also see some of the interesting chat and also question. But first, let me just a brief introduction about myself. So from Katarina, I graduated actually from physics, so not so much of the background in agriculture. However, my family does do meatball business, so we also have the beef cattle farm. So at the moment we raised 4,000 beef cattle, and we also have the 200 buffalo. So as you can see on the introduction screen, I'm a farmer, and I'm also the importer of the CLAAS Jaguar and the various CLAAS tractor and also machines from Europe. And recently, I'm also start the contracting business. So my experience on the cattle farm in Thailand and also dairy farm. So with the cattle, with the beef cattle, it's easy because we own the farm. So at first glance, you can see that the in Thailand the beef cattle and also dairy cattle that I have known through the connection from my customer, which we sold the machines to. So at first, a lot of people say that the Jaguar is just the just one part of the just the result of the harvest. I do have to agree with you on that. making a good silage start all the way from your field, from planting the right plant, having the right soil condition, and also looking after it along the way and also harvesting at the right time. And then in the end, it also has to do with the storage. It's also very important. If you want to really talk about it, and also mixing component also very important when you are feeding your cattle. So you can see here. So the first screen, you can also see when we first started, it's not so much concrete. You can also see as time progress, we also on the bottom screen, you can also on the bottom pictures, you can see the concrete floor where we could also help with the use the bigger machinery to feed the cattle. So in that way, you can really save time and also save money and also feed cattle better. And you can see also various feeding method. But all this, we have to say that it's also it's almost like working backward. In order to feed effectively, we have to look at our origin on how the in Thailand how we farm and also how we make silage. So in the current situation on how we produce the silage, as you can see in the picture here, is very common practice in Thailand. A lot of time we use lots of labor. We have a lot of people going in and then cut the plant one by one, and also if you're lucky, you would have the motorized mower, and then you also have to carry the plant, and then you have to also shred it separately. So all this process, and then in the compaction, you can also see the picture on the right. Sometimes some method that we introduced before the silo bunker, we use a small plastic bucket, a big plastic bucket, 200 liters. So we place the chopped maize or grass in, and then we have people stomp on it for compaction. And then also at the bottom, you also see sometimes they also put the chopped maize in the bag, also, or chopped grass in the bag. So what this does is also giving us some problem, because before we use the introduce the technology from Europe, we also a consumer that we also a customer of these guys. So what is the problem that we are facing? So the obvious, if you can see in the last picture, is it takes a lot of lots of people, and also long hours of working, so high labor consumption and also more time consumption. And also sometimes you can also see that it's also higher and also waste the cost of production because of the time and labor. So that's also the obvious. And then not the obvious, you can also see that it's not something that will last forever, because of the we use lots of people, and it's very low return. You as the business owner that hire people to harvest, and also the worker, don't get a lot of return. The worker will also get the less return, and also the people that do the hiring also have to pay higher labor costs. And then also high unexpected risks and unexpected costs, because you could also see with the longer time would come the more problem they have to face with either drought or sometimes maybe even flood, not shown here. And also reduced silage quality, that maybe also has to do more with the storage than the harvest, but nonetheless, it's also all related. So what can you fix with the Jaguar? So the obvious is save labor costs, because you can see you can count many people, quite a few people, save time. It's a lot faster than people cutting it, and also maybe also if you have also I forgot to put a picture of the tractor mounted, also faster. Use less people, so you can see two person, one person driving, and another person driving the Jaguar, the other person driving the loading vehicle. And on this other side, you have at least two 4 people cutting, so and maybe 2 rows at a time. So one person cutting 1 row, and the other person carrying the plant. And then also you also need more people at the chopping station. And they're not so obvious, you know. It would create more job with skilled labor. So you won't need as many people. You need 1 more person, but with the bigger responsibility. So in the end, that person could earn for you more. So you would be able to pay that person a little bit more to hire him, and he also have more responsibility to look after. So in fact, that would also help push the market in the labor market in a good direction, and it also kick off the silage production in the larger scale. So larger scale meaning that it does make sense to make a big silo bunker if you have a person chopping, or if you can harvest only just one truckload a day, which is like 10 tons per day. It's not going to be very cost effective to make big silo bunker. And of course, you can with the bigger scale, you can also plant more, so you could utilize your land a lot more, and you could also harvest on time to get the in the end, this will lead to a better silage quality in the harvest. So so in the end, it also play a lot of part in the in creating the effect. It's almost like the chain effect that will lead to bigger silage production. So what we're going to talk about now is quickly to the trend of the silage production in Thailand. So as you can see, with the introduction of the bigger machines to from Europe or from America to Thailand, you can see the production will move into the bigger scale because it save more costs. So in the end, doing a farm is also business. A lot of people may know that it's something that you do for a living. It's not something that you do for charity. So we all have to make money somehow. So in the end, having the right technology from the start would also really help. So I'm not going to go into detail to talk about the production, about the planting process here. It's also important, but we could also leave it for another discussion in the Q&A, and then we can also discuss over time. And with a bigger harvesting machines, you can also obviously could harvest more in a shorter period of time, and will give you time to will save you time to make a bigger silo bunker. And in the end, you could also really push it. It will make Thailand making of silage, and also I think in agriculture in Thailand, pushing agriculture in Thailand in general to the more developed, like in the developing countries, like in Europe. So I am actually looking forward to how it's gonna turn out. It's along the way, there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. It's gonna be importing. People are gonna be importing a lot of machines and a lot of technology from Europe to Thailand, and we also looking for more technology to be imported to Thailand. But hopefully, in the end, we could. It's not. We have to know that it's not cut and paste technology, so we can also prepare whatever best for the people just by getting the right technology from start. We could also see from Mr. Jain's presentation earlier, or from the live presentation, that you could customize your Jaguar to many different settings to suit your harvesting needs. So with the kernel processing, you can harvest the corn or sorghum, and then you can also have different types of kernel processor depending on the grains that you harvest, either direct discs or with something else. And it's also with grass, you could also if you harvest grass, then you could probably take out the you definitely will need to take out the corn cracker completely. So you can really see that the with the arrival of the bigger machine like CLAAS Jaguar, and the also it's seen also ECAT, and also also maybe the silo technology like the plastic cover import could also really help pushing us into the big farming direction in Thailand. So thank you for all your time and attention, and I'll send the ball back to Mr. Jens to finish off the presentation. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Ekapop, thank you very much for sharing your experience, for sharing yeah, your timeline, how you developed your farm and your agriculture machinery business with our technology, and how you had the chance to increase output on the one side, or also reducing cost on the other side by implementing this technology to your farm. I shortly would like to sum up here with the green energy farming part. So we talked now a lot about the good silage quality for animal feed. Just 2 slides here where we would like to mention that yeah, this machine is also suitable for energy production. So means energy production out of renewable sources. We can see here as an example on a biogas plant. Because also in such a biogas plant, we can fill in, or this is runs by renewable crops. So as an example, we can see here chopped corn or chopped Napier grass. Napier is surely more suitable in the Southeast Asian countries for such an application, but also here miscanthus, or also trash like straw, which is left over in the rice harvest, or also the cane trash leaves, which are left over in the field after the harvest of sugarcane. They can be a source to run such a biogas plant. And by looking to the number, as an example here of a 3 megawatt biogas plant, you need around 400 tons per day to feed this 3 megawatt biogas plant with material. And on this number, you can already imagine here, or there is a question how to produce this 400 tons on good quality for the daily demand of such a biogas plant. And yeah, now we looked into the machines which are available from CLAAS, which are available and which we sell in Southeast Asian countries. And we can see that there are whole solutions available for such biogas operations, as well as for the dairy farming or cattle farming applications. So we see here process chain. It's starting here, that was also mentioned, or also a question in the chat. It starts with cultivation, with the planting of the crop for sure, with land preparation, where our tractors can be used. Then we have the harvest part here. Can be with a forage harvester, or also well known in Thailand, for example, our quadrant for the baling of material, for the baling of straw. Then we have the logistic part and the feeding at the end at the for example, biogas plant, or also feeding of the material at the farm, and also the residual management is important. So we know we could talk much more about these topics. I am very happy to see all these questions. But we are quite limited in time. We have just this 1 hour time, which is over right now. But here also feel free to get back to us regarding such process change, how our implements, our machines can support in this application. So we are very happy to share information there with you, to discuss about that also after this event here. And yeah, whole process chain and this green energy farming ends up then in the production of renewable energy with yeah, taking care about the environment with yeah, a good produced and yeah, energy and out of this renewable crops which we can grow on our fields. I mentioned that we will shortly show a video of a Jaguar in new application. So therefore, on the next slide, on the next video, we will show you a Jaguar working in cane trash collection that we recorded in the past weeks in Thailand. So we will go over to the video now. So now the microphone is working again. Yeah, we are a bit over time, and yeah, as mentioned, we could talk much more about our machines, our applications. Yeah, we saw that there are a lot of questions in the chat box. Some are already answered. Some others we may need to come back then later directly to you. We have your contact details from your registration. So we will view them all and come back to them. Here, for example, there was a question about how to check quality on the produced silage. We have also for these things, we have tools to do that. For example, here a 1 liter cup with which there's a manual on it as well, which this one you can, with this one you can check, for example, silage quality. Here there was a question about different corn crackers. I know that would be quite interesting to see the different corn crackers, different applications, but due to the limit of time, we will come back to you with these points, and yeah, we'll share you the information then later after the meeting. Okay. Maybe we open the chat box once again. Okay, yeah, also some email addresses already shared in this chat box, so we will then come back to you. If there's anybody else who would like to get in contact with us, we will also, here at the end, we will share a screen where we show you our contact details, so feel free to ask us then. And yeah, I would say then from our side, thank you very much for participation, and we hope that yeah, this was an interesting session for you. I know for some it was already well known what we talked about, but for some others this was new content. So yeah, we are really happy for the further discussions and for the further connection to talk about our technology and how this can work on your farm and in your area and application in your country. Okay, Dr. Ekapop, you would like to also close up the session from your side if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, then I would say we will close this session now. As mentioned, we will come back to the questions. We will go through all of them. Thank you very much for participating this digital event. And yeah, we're looking forward to get in contact with you to talk about our machinery and solutions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.